Hi, welcome to T3 Teach Tech Theater. I am Kirsten Branch.
I'm Julie Benitez.
And today we wanted to just talk about the danger of shoulding on yourself. I am probably one of the queens of this, but Julie is laughing because she knows that is quite true. So this last weekend, I had the opportunity to attend the EDTA conference, and a lot of the offerings for the conference were all about stream your show, do your live show, do this show type stuff. And I got to thinking about the fact that if I was somebody who was maybe on the fence a little bit, or even just kind of muddling through my day, and I would see this, or there's tons of stuff on these Facebook groups that we belong to about do this show, this show's available in rights, and this show's available, I would immediately start to get really, really overwhelmed and feel guilty that that is not something I am prepared to do right now.
You're not prepared to feel guilty or prepared to, to do a big show?
Yeah. I am not prepared to. Okay. And that is really something that I am not prepared to do a live show right now. I am not prepared to figure out a streaming platform. I am not prepared to purchase yet another set of rights for a show because I lost a ton of money in the spring, and try to see what I can do with my kids. I do not have that mental capacity at this moment. Are we going to do a production? Well, we're going to do something. We're doing a piece of device theater that the kids are creating. But Julie, you and I were talking about this, that right now there's a different energy, even with my most devoted kids.
Absolutely. Kids that I've had for 4 years, kids who were gung-ho about theater, kids who were lived and breathed it, and they are overwhelmed and they are pulling back. And yes, they're still wanting to do stuff. My officers still want to do stuff, but it all just kind of goes to the wayside. And I completely understand, because I've got, the best of intentions. But once I've gone through my day and I'm doing all those Zooms and I'm trying to do all that grading and I'm trying to do attendance and I'm trying to do all the things that are part of virtual learning, I don't have a lot of energy left. And I totally want to have an opportunity for the kids to have something to perform. And we are going to be doing, the kids are writing stuff, and we're going to be doing a performance virtually. That's just one more virtual thing. And it's a lot, and the energy is different. It's not the same when we're all in the same space and we're hanging out at lunch and we're grooving on each other's energy as we're doing a rehearsal. It's all very isolating. It's very, very different.
And we should also explain that at this point, we are still 100% distance learning. Right now, though, we are looking at within 2 weeks. So on September 28th, the schools are going back in an augmented quarter of the kids a day type blended learning scenario. It's kind of, it's a whatever, but we do know that there are folks out there that are 100% in person right now. And so there's a different energy there as well. But for us, and we are really close with all the teachers in the district, and there are some that are trying to take on something like this virtual thing. Our district has come out with a policy that says there is absolutely no after school or extracurricular anything in person. So we cannot do an in-person production at this point and for the foreseeable future. So that doing an in-person play is not part of our conversation at all. And then as we started to think about this, my show Puffs was canceled in the spring. A couple weeks ago, they announced that Puffs is now available for streaming. But I just don't have the energy to figure out how to do that.
Yeah. And my show that was supposed to go in the spring, I haven't canceled the rights yet because the money had already gone out. And I was hoping against hope that maybe in the spring we're going to be able to do it, although we have to recast a bunch of people and, re-remember everything because it'll been a year. But I'm just not sure if it's going to happen. And even if it does happen, whether it's going to have to be changed anyway because of we can't sing in the space that I've got. I mean, I know that singing's a super spreader, so I was thinking that this morning of like, what other options could I do? Was I going to record it when they were going to mouth it? I don't know. I was weird things in the middle of the morning.
There's just so many questions. And I know that there's a lot of really cool resources out there, like the EDTA plan for school reopening and such like that. For me, I would like to wait and see what Actors Equity and IATSE come up with, the two unions for professional theaters, because I kind of feel like what their recommendations are the things that we would owe ourselves to follow. And let me give you a caveat, because we are not shoulding on anybody. If you have figured out a plan that you are comfortable with that is keeping you and your kids safe, we are not here to poo-poo any of that. We are not here to say this is not something you should be doing. But I am preferring to err on the side of caution. And again, we can't do anything anyway right now live. So that's a totally different conversation for us.
And not to poo-poo, because again, different areas of the country have different options going on right now. But we do want to say you don't have to. So if you're feeling like you're overwhelmed with everything already, you don't have to. You don't have to. Take it gentle. Be gentle to yourself. Take it slow. Take it slow for your kids. It's a lot. You know, I just recently saw something online. It was someone asking for advice that they had done a Zoom rehearsal as an actor. And now as a teacher, they're like, what do you think the hours would be? Because I did it as an adult and you know, there's a different work ethic, perhaps. And not having school on top of it, of someone was just trying to question, like, what would that be? And the answer is nobody knows. Nobody knows how much the kids are going to be able to do or not do, or how overwhelmed they are. There are just so many unknowns. Be gentle to yourself.
You could have a series of scenes and monologues. You could have a one act. You could do, there's so much out there that could be sanity saving for you. And I know, especially this, I kind of feel like this is a theme for some of our videos where I'm going, man, I had a really hard week, but I've had a couple really yucky, tough weeks. And I am working really, really hard right now. To add a production on top of that would be absolutely insane for my mental and physical health. And then to add on the layers of things I would need to teach myself on how to create something virtually. I don't have the bandwidth in here. I mean, my rainbow wheel is spinning as it is. There is no way I could do what I would need to do and do it well. Now, I did Scenes from a Quarantine by Theater Folk last spring. It was fine. It was great. It was minimal rehearsal. The kids did have to memorize it. 45 minutes long. We presented it. I didn't want to make any money on it. That was fine. I knew I was going to have to eat the money I'd spent on puffs already. And it was just kind of a relaxing thing. But I have more kids in my program this year into my advanced acting class, so I can't do something that small. And again, I don't want to take that on. And when I polled my students at the beginning of the year and I said, what do you want to do? Do you want to create something or do you want to do a published piece? The kids said to me, doing something that has memorization of somebody else's words is going to be too stressful right now. Mm-hmm. So I am not here to push the boulder up the hill and hope that there are people to help me. Because I do that a lot. I'm like, let's go. And I turn around, there's nobody behind me because I'm just bound and determined to do whatever it is. So I am forcing myself to take a step back and say, this is not the time. And especially, I'm trying to build a program. But this is not the time for me to take on something like that.
I was saying to someone the other day that I already felt the level of me doing distance learning and with the possibility of us going in person, and so that we'll be teaching live kids and online at the same time. I already felt like I was in Tech Week, and that we're in like week 5 of Tech Week. So to actually put a Tech Week on top of that, I think I think it would be too much. I think that my family would not want me in the house anymore, right. and would ban me into a tent in the yard.
You'd be living on your drowsy chaperone set.
Absolutely.
The Murphy bed. So we just want to say that we stand with you in solidarity for the folks that are going, this is too much. It's okay to say that. It's okay to admit that to yourself. And it's okay to go with something that you can handle.
And this is an excellent opportunity. I have found many times of like being able to go deeper into something that normally I don't have time for. If I've got those advanced kids, my kids chose to write something this time, but I know that the next time I have my advanced kids, to really focus on the things that I usually do, like at the end of a semester, we do a semester showcase, but to really focus on, let's work your monologues. Let's work, if we're able to be in groups, let's work some scenes. Let's work on you with your craft. I don't have to do a huge production to help my kids with their craft. And all of those things could be put into a virtual performance.
So as always, we celebrate you and the work that you are doing. We acknowledge that this is, as we hear all the time, an unprecedented time in history. We are all first-year teachers, no matter how long we have been teaching. And what we are doing right now is hard. And so we just want to say, be kind to yourself. Please do not should on what you need to do. Look at what you can honestly handle, and that is all anybody can ever ask. The children this year, your students, will survive without a full-scale Zoomed production.
Absolutely. And may be happy for not having it.
And as always, thank you so much for watching. You can always reach us at teachtechtheater@gmail.com. Check out our website, www.teachtechtheater.org, and become a member. That way you can access the curriculum that Julie and I are creating and join the T3 family. And we look forward to hearing from you. Please remember to like and subscribe this video, and we will see you later.
Bye. See you later.